Hey guys, welcome back. Let's get into Game 6 with the Knicks and Pacers. We're going to preview that game. I'll give you guys some insight along the way, talk about kind of who we got going in terms of injury news, as well as some betting trends and statistical trends that I do think are relevant leading up to tonight's contest. I also will kind of preface this all by saying I think this will be the last game within the Eastern Conference Finals, so you kind of know where my head's going, and we're going to get down into the picks, okay? But before we do, make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us right here at TBM Sports. I am Mark. We do talk sports betting each and every single day, and let's get into the game, okay? The first thing we're going to look at is kind of where the money is headed as we look at this game from a money line standpoint, a point spread perspective, and as well as what we're seeing here from a total. The total has climbed up from 218.5 open to 220. We have seen a little bit of momentum towards the side of the Indiana Pacers in terms of that money line moving up to a minus 173 price. Best number you can find, though, is minus 165. That is the beauty of Outlier. You can, if you are a significant bettor, it will save you a ton of juice without having to shop around, okay? And also, we did get a half point of movement as the Pacers have been bought up from 3.5 open to a 4 price point. So let's get into it. Obviously, the handle will be set upon the Knicks, a little bit more profitable. Anytime you get a plus money conversation within that money line, that's kind of why we will see an overwhelmingly amount of that support, but also it's kind of interesting to note that the large majority of the money is on the under in this game. We'll kind of talk about kind of what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling as we look at some of the possessions like we saw last game and last time out. We did go under the total of 223. That's where it closed at. And 3 of the 5 games in this series have gone under the total. Coincidentally, when these totals were set, their 2 lowest amounts, okay, so 219 and 221 respectively, those numbers did go over, but the higher totals, 223 and the 224s, they all went under. So as we look at this, we're kind of set smack dab in the middle. So we're going to talk about kind of how I'm approaching this and also some of the props that I am favoring. Now, one thing I do want to kind of allude to within what we saw on Wednesday, okay, the Pacers, they have been one of my darlings in terms of betting their team total going over, okay? They cashed that in 3 of the 5 games, despite seeing some unders, getting over that total of 108.5, I believe, and right now, today, we're seeing it in the market. You can find the Indiana team total. We're going to kind of talk about that, where that price is and what I'll be playing. But this is where we saw them just basically lay a dud, okay? So you were either in the camp of, hey, Knicks do or die, or you were saying, hey, the Knicks gave up, Pacers got to keep their foot on the gas pedal. I was in the side of the Pacers putting their foot on the gas pedal to inevitably punch their ticket to go play the Oklahoma City Thunder for a little meeting in the NBA championship. Now, the reason why we're going to talk about this is because, yes, this was a dud. I went to the mindset that, hey, watch them play against the Cavaliers. They did not relax. They did not falter, and they did, inevitably come back in that kind of win-or-go-home game on the road. And now they get to come home, okay? So, obviously, as we look at Indianapolis, the Gainbridge Fieldhouse will be rocking. Hopefully, Pat McAfee gets the boys going again. And full disclosure, I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Pacers fan. I'm an emotionless bettor. The only emotion I probably would have now that it's all said and done is that the Cavaliers basically just kind of shit the bed, for a lack of better words. But I think a lot of Celtics fans are hurt as well, and this is what we're faced with. So a lot of people out there with Oklahoma City futures tickets are probably licking their chops, but we're going to say not so fast, because the Indiana Pacers do present a lot of matchup challenges with the tempo that they do play with. But as we look at kind of where we're at within this game, I wanted to kind of allude to the fact that if we look at kind of what the Indiana Pacers did on Wednesday, they only notched 94 points, okay? This postseason, the game before that, okay, so as we look at the first 4 games, they've been averaging 118.5 points per game, 50% shooting percentage, as well as kind of higher assists, and a little bit more so in terms of ball handling, right? They had 19 turnovers in Game 5. Very sloppy performance from Indiana, especially what we're seeing within their front court, and the 12.1 turnovers that they are averaging in the first 4 games is kind of what I'm alluding to within this handicap. Okay, I have to tell you guys, I think Indiana, in terms of the side is dead on correct. If you want to look at the 4 as being too much, I agree with you, because if we do get overtime, it's going to be kind of, hey, you're going to have to maybe rely on some free throws to kind of cash that within a backdoor cover. I like the Pacers here on the money line. I also like the Pacers here in the first quarter. Very strong play within that. I think that you can look at the Pacers here, minus 115, minus a half of a point in the first quarter. That's a bet I do favor as well. But we're going to talk about kind of the team prop here that I do kind of favor more so, and that is the Indiana Pacers team total. We're going to use Outlier and find that best number available, okay? And I think that right now, if you do parlay that, you want to take Pacers money line, you want to take Pacers team total, that will bring you close to plus money, or if not above. But I think the best bet here is over 111.5 at minus 115. That number has climbed, but I definitely think that the Pacers do get past 112. The only thing that kind of worries me is if we do kind of hit a wall where the Pacers have this game pretty much all but wrapped up, and then we do get kind of a, hey, we're just going to coast this one out. But what we've seen in this postseason is it's been the contrary. When we do have those blowout games, the benches come in and there's little to none to zero defense, and we do get a lot of possessions that do kind of get up there. We saw that with Minnesota and OKC, and I think that the Pacers, Knicks, this is a total that I definitely think that they're going to try to increase that tempo, okay? And I think that's been the big storyline here, is when the Knicks have had their way, they've slowed the game down a bit, okay? And as we talk about kind of what we see here within the Indiana Pacers, I personally believe that they're going to try to get that tempo as fast as humanly possible at home, get the crowd behind them, and they're going to look to score a lot of points in this game, and I just don't think the Knicks can outlast them in that regard. So I'm on the Pacers first quarter, minus a half point. That's probably my best bet in terms of a side. I'm not in love with laying this 4 that we see out there in the market right now. And NBA teasers are the worst proposition known to mankind. I do not recommend that or condone that. But there is a very strong case to be made within taking the Indiana Pacers and the over in a teaser, basically just a money line and lowering that total. Me personally, I would go try to get it in terms of the Pacers and their team total with the money line, or you just kind of lay more money and you take them at minus 165 if you think they're going to win the game outright. Okay, but I will be on the side of the Pacers, more so the first quarter, and we'll see kind of what I follow that up with, but that's kind of where my heart's at in my head and my wallet. Okay, next thing we're going to get into is some props. All right, Karl-Anthony Towns, I kind of faded him in last game. He had 37 points and rebounds, and this is a bet that I look to target once more. They're going to need him. So outside of foul trouble, if he does kind of get it going and stay on the court, I think that at a minus 120 price, over 33.5 points and rebounds for Cat. He's done this 4 out of the 5 games against Indiana. And I think he gets back there again as a do-or-die game. He's going to definitely lay it all out on the line. And that's kind of where I'm at within this contest for him. So I would be going over Karl-Anthony Towns' points and rebounds, okay? Another bet that I want to talk about, Landry Shamet for the Knicks as well. And all of these props will come on the likes of the New York Knicks, which is kind of interesting because if you're favoring them against them, but we're going to take their props going over. That's kind of a contrarian play, but I think that with a total going over, I think that we have room for both of these teams to have some success in the prop department if you are going to take overs. And this is a bet that I like quite a bit. Minus 115, Landry Shamet over 2.5 points. Okay, so, garbage time, foul trouble, or if we just, get a wanky 3, that does get us over the total of 2.5. So it's one that has cashed in the last 3 games against Indiana. He did not get action, I think, in that 4th game, if my memory serves me correct, or one of the games against Indiana. For some reason, they're only showing 3 within his last 5 games against Indiana. But the one thing I will kind of tell you guys is his minutes have gone up. Okay, so his minutes have gone up, averaging 11, conversely to the sub 5 minutes that he did play against Boston. So their rotation has been a little bit more on the uptrend. I think that he will get some run. And if we kind of look at his 3-point attempts, okay, he's had 2 attempts and he has made 1 3 out of those 2 attempts per game. So at minus 115, it's kind of a coin flip, but it's a very profitable edge, I think, in this bet, as we basically get a coin flip at a 60-40 proposition versus a 50-50 proposition. So give me Landry Shamet over 2.5 as we look for him to cash 1-3 or a combination of free throws or whatever you want to get there. However you get to 3 points, we'll take it. Okay. Next, this has been another one of my darlings on the Knicks since his benching. We have been riding the Josh Hart in terms of the rebound statistic, okay? And as we look at him kind of from a point perspective, and this is something where the market has reacted quite a bit, okay? He has had 12 points in his last 2 games against Indiana. He's very active in the glass. We think that, for my money, he is the best rebounding guard in the NBA. Definitely going to be crashing the boards tonight, and I think this is where we look into this category. Points, I think he gets over 10 points, rebounds, definitely over 20. The number really has kind of tempered off a little bit. 18.5 is what we were seeing, and if you look back into that first game since his renewed role back on the 25th, and actually back on the 25th, we kind of saw this where he only had 18 points and rebounds. So I like points, rebounds going over 18.5 if you want to get involved with that. I like rebounds by themselves. I think he gets over the 8.5 rebounds. I would take at a juiced up price, but minus 152. Boy, these odds makers know exactly what they're doing. But looking at his last 8 games, okay, he has had 9 rebounds or more in 6 of his last 8 games. Okay, so this is a 60% proposition with the tempo, the missed shots by Indiana. I think it does bode well for Josh Hart in this line, and this is where I will take you to a plus money category. All right, so the double for Josh Hart. Okay, plus 240. If you want to take that, it is going to be a little bit of a chalkier play as he has hit the double in his last 2 games against Indiana. But if you are going to bet Josh Hart, it's basically a parlay. That he will go over his points. He will go over. It's basically taken over 9.5 and over 9.5 rebounds. And you do get a little bit better of a value here at plus 240 versus if you would do parlay them separately, I believe. And that's kind of where I look at it as being a best bet. So that's kind of where I'm going to be at for Josh Hart. I think the value here is on the double. It is plus 240. You're probably at a little bit more of a disadvantage, but I just don't see any benefit of not taking that as he has notched this in his last 2 contests against Indiana, okay? If we want to go down the rabbit hole and talk other players, Jalen Brunson, his bar for his props, where they have the numbers set at, is dead on. It's been around 1.5, under, over. So I am staying away from Jalen Brunson altogether. Also, I don't think he's right. If you wanted to ask me my honest opinion, I think he's a little bit off in terms of his health. Just not the same fourth quarter, give me the ball, Jalen Brunson that we are all used to. And that's something where I think that it has really handicapped the Knicks, at least in the first 4 games that we did see them play. Okay. But also, if we switch teams and we get into kind of what we're looking at within the likes of the Indiana Pacers, we have kind of went behind TJ McConnell. I would kind of dabble into this. This is a lean. It would be his first quarter points, okay? Just having a point in the first quarter at minus 137. I think that's kind of where I'm at. It's actually a bet that I really do like quite a bit. You have to kind of shop around. Prize Picks is the only one that does offer that. Also, I believe FanDuel does as well, but if you do have Prize Picks, I really do like the TJ McConnell over first quarter points. If you can find that out there, please leave a comment down below which sportsbooks will be offering that, but per outlier, it's only offered right now on Prize Picks, so that's why it's not an official play, but it's one of my favorite bets. Want to look at kind of 3-pointers made. He has not really been doing that well, but to get 1 3-pointer, he has a lot of open looks, okay? And he does pull the trigger. You look at kind of attempts. Going back to these 3-point attempts, he had 2 attempts last game against the Knicks, and he has done this. He's had an attempt, if not 2, in 4 of the 5 games. And if he does cash this, right, he just needs to make 1, plus 350. It's not a home run, but it's a pretty good value here for TJ McConnell to get a 3. As we look at kind of where he's been, from 3-pointers made. If you want to talk about it, though, he has made a 3, okay, in 30% of his last 10 games, okay? But he does have an attempt in I believe 70% of his last 10 games, and in this Indiana series, or in this Knicks series in specific, it's 80%. He does have an attempt, and he has made 1 out of 1-3 in these 4 games. So at plus 350, it's kind of a long shot. It's more of a flyer, but I don't quite frankly mind that if you were going to back TJ McConnell. Okay. And lastly, let's talk about a couple other people. OJ Anunoby, like I said, guys, the number is right where it's at. One of my favorite players to bet in the point perspective, points and rebounds. You can see kind of how the bar is set right now at 15.5, and it's right kind of that. I'm sorry, that's an alternate line. It would be set at right now at 19.5, 20.5, depending on where you look, but 20.5 is the number. It's too much of a coin flip. The number's going away from us. There's no real edge in this, but I do favor OG Anunoby in these spots, and you can see this kind of within his points, more so in the point department. But if I was going to get involved with this, it would have to be at a 14.5. It's almost a pass at 15.5. But after a performance where he had 11 points against Indiana last game, I would kind of go back to the well here, and I do not mind taking OG Anunoby over 15.5 at minus 115 one bit. Okay. And then the last player that I wanted to mention, and kind of the one that everybody kind of wants to talk about, this will be in the form of the likes of, I will mention Pascal Siakam. If you do like him points over, sure, I could see that. But the rebounds, assists, I think this is something where he is set for a little bit of a resurgency in that prop. But the Tyrese Halliburton numbers, I want to kind of shed some light on that as we look at what we've seen within points, rebounds, and assists. He had 16, a little bit of a dud last game, okay? And that was an outlier. If you can talk about kind of just laying off a game, that's pretty much what we saw, all right? That's pretty much the only way I could describe this. But as Halliburton's number is set at 35.5 against the Knicks, he's only hit this in 2 of the 5 games. But when he hits it, he hits it. So I wouldn't bet it at 35.5. I would look into the alternate totals where I would bet this in the 44.5. Okay, and that's where I would take Halliburton plus 440. Okay, and you look at kind of the closeout game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, a little bit more active, 31, 8, and 6 in that game. So in this kind of closeout opportunity, all right, I just think that he could show up. So if you want another flyer out there in the market, and you want to kind of do a home run parlay, small unit size, of course, little same game parlay, I would do Halliburton and parlay that with the Josh Hart double double at plus 440 to go alongside some plus. I believe it was plus 260. And even if you want to get really daring, it does get weird, but add in a little McConnell 3 there, kind of taking all my long shots on the board today, put them all together, and that could be a nice little lottery ticket. I might actually pass it along in the Discord and ride that myself, but I wanted to share with you guys some of my insight, and that's how I would approach Halliburton to kind of go over his alternate points, rebounds, and assists if I was going to bet it. But yeah, I'm on the side of the Pacers. We'll see what happens. It'll be an exciting closeout game at home for the Indiana. I know sure as hell they don't want to go back to New York and play a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. I don't think anybody would want that outside of the media and the Knicks backers. Okay, so appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button down below. But those are my best bets for Game 6, Indiana and New York. And yeah, good luck on your tickets. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.